Imagine the moment when Earth's Space Marines, elite soldiers trained for the most extreme environments in the galaxy, face off against the formidable shock troopers of an alien species. The tension is thick, the stakes are high, and humanity's future might hinge on the outcome of this epic battle. But the real question is, who would come out on top in this galactic showdown? The idea of a fierce, futuristic military conflict between Earth's finest and a highly advanced alien force is more than just a fantasy. With humanity's technological advancements in space exploration, artificial intelligence, and warfare, there is a legitimate question to be asked. Could Earth's military, the Space Marines, defeat alien forces with superior firepower and tactics? Or would the shock troopers of an advanced alien race prove to be too overwhelming for our forces? In this video, we'll break down the various factors at play, how both sides would strategize, what technology they would wield, and who ultimately has the edge when it comes to training, tactics, and firepower. Strap in, because we're diving into a hypothetical battle that could shape the future of the universe. The strength of Earth's Space Marines. When it comes to elite military forces, Earth's Space Marines represent the pinnacle of human ingenuity. But what makes them so formidable? Space Marines are not your ordinary soldiers. They're specially trained to handle the most extreme conditions, from the vacuum of space to hostile alien planets. Their training is not just physical, it's mental, tactical, and technological. Imagine being put through boot camp, where you're not only prepared for terrestrial combat, but also for battles in zero-gravity environments, on planets with hostile atmospheres, or in spaceships under heavy fire. Space Marines are engineered for versatility, which is key when dealing with an unpredictable enemy. The technology at their disposal is nothing short of extraordinary. First, we have their exoskeleton-powered armor, which enhances strength, speed, and durability. This armor is equipped with shielding systems capable of deflecting alien projectiles and energy-based weapons, making them resistant to a wide array of attacks. In addition, Space Marines are outfitted with plasma rifles, grenade launchers, and advanced energy weapons that can punch through nearly any defense. These weapons are designed to be highly effective in both close-quarters combat and long-range skirmishes. Their training also includes mastering advanced combat tactics, from guerrilla warfare to full-scale planetary assaults. But it's not just about technology. The mindset of a Space Marine is crucial to their effectiveness. Their tactical thinking is based on adaptability and resourcefulness, qualities that would give them an edge in unfamiliar environments. They operate as a cohesive unit, making use of their surroundings to outsmart and overpower superior foes. This teamwork, combined with the right tech, makes them a true force to be reckoned with. They don't rely on brute strength alone. They rely on strategy and precision. The power of alien shock troopers. Now, let's shift our focus to the alien shock troopers, an entirely different breed of warriors. Shock troopers are generally the first line of offense for alien civilizations, often tasked with crushing resistance and overwhelming enemies with sheer force. These warriors are typically engineered for one thing: domination. Their biology and weaponry are designed for ruthless efficiency, and their tactics are focused on intimidation, shock, and awe. Alien shock troopers are likely to be genetically enhanced with strength and speed that far surpasses human capabilities. These enhancements could involve anything from increased muscle density and faster reflexes to cybernetic implants that make them virtually unstoppable. Their resilience to injury might be enhanced, allowing them to recover quickly from wounds that would be fatal to a human. As a result, a shock trooper's endurance and combat effectiveness could be significantly superior to that of a human soldier. The weaponry at their disposal would also likely be far more advanced than human tech. Imagine energy-based weapons capable of disintegrating armor with a single shot, or plasma-based weaponry that could cause devastation on a planetary scale. Shock troopers could have the ability to adapt their weapons to any battlefield scenario, whether it's anti-armor plasma beams or long-range pinpoint energy blasters. These weapons are likely designed for efficiency, focusing on overwhelming force rather than precision. But perhaps the greatest advantage alien shock troopers have over human soldiers is their collective mindset. Shock troopers are often bred for one purpose: to conquer. They are driven by instincts that push them to fight until victory is assured. The psychology behind this may involve hive-like behavior, where individual soldiers are connected to a larger entity, allowing them to function as an extension of an alien military machine. This connection can make them more coordinated in battle, allowing them to anticipate each other's movements and tactics, almost like a single organism. Unlike humans, who might hesitate or overthink in certain situations, alien shock troopers might fight with an almost predatory efficiency. This mindset, combined with their physical prowess and advanced weaponry, could make them a terrifying foe for humanity's forces. Factors that determine the outcome. So, what would happen if these two forces clashed? To answer that, we need to consider several key factors: technology, tactics, terrain, and adaptability. Technology. Earth's space marines have advanced technology that makes them formidable, but the real question is whether they can match the potentially superior weaponry and defense systems of the alien shock troopers. While Earth's weapons are highly effective, the aliens may possess weapons with abilities that we haven't even dreamed of. Energy beams capable of piercing through multiple layers of shielding, or armor that adapts and regenerates in real time. The technological gap could play a major role in determining the outcome. Tactics. Space Marines are masters of adaptation and tactical thinking, trained to outsmart even the most advanced enemies. However, alien shock troopers might have the advantage when it comes to sheer brute force and overwhelming numbers. If their tactics are based on speed and surprise, they could quickly outflank and overpower smaller groups of Space Marines. But in a long, drawn-out conflict, Earth's tactical advantage could give them the edge. Terrain. The battlefield would play a huge role in the outcome of the battle. If the fight takes place on Earth or an environment familiar to human forces, the Space Marines might have a distinct advantage due to their experience with Earth's terrain and conditions. However, if the battle takes place on an alien planet, the shock troopers may have an edge due to their natural adaptations to their home environments. Adaptability. In a one-on-one showdown, the adaptability of the Space Marines could be the deciding factor. They are trained to fight in a variety of settings, using guerrilla tactics and advanced technology to outmaneuver enemies. If the Space Marines can learn quickly and adjust to the shock troopers' tactics, they might be able to exploit weaknesses in the alien force. But if the shock troopers' coordination and overwhelming force are too much, adaptability might not be enough. At this point, it's clear that both forces have their strengths and weaknesses. The fight would be nothing short of explosive, with each side using their unique abilities and technologies to gain the upper hand. The outcome of the battle. Who wins? After examining the strengths and weaknesses of both Earth's Space Marines and the alien shock troopers, we must now take a step back and analyze the broader implications of their potential clash. Would humanity stand a chance against a race of aliens with superior physical enhancements and advanced weaponry? Or would Earth's military ingenuity and tactical prowess be enough to overcome the odds? The answer isn't as straightforward as it might seem. The Space Marines' tactical edge when it comes to warfare, adaptability and tactics are key. Space Marines are trained to think on their feet, analyzing and adjusting to changing battle conditions. They don't just rely on their advanced technology. They use their intellect, resourcefulness, and experience to make the most of any given situation. Even when faced with a far more powerful enemy, the Space Marines can adjust their strategies, using their knowledge of the terrain, guerrilla tactics, and superior teamwork to disrupt their opponent's plans. Imagine a scenario where Earth's Marines are on an alien planet, with the terrain offering plenty of opportunities to use their environment to their advantage. The aliens might have superior physical strength, but the Marines could utilize their exoskeletal armor and advanced weapons to ambush, outmaneuver, and exploit weaknesses in the enemy's formations. The ability to adapt quickly and deploy unconventional tactics could tilt the odds in humanity's favor, even against seemingly insurmountable odds. But this tactical advantage doesn't guarantee victory. While the Space Marines' minds are their strength, they face a formidable opponent in the shock troopers, who are engineered for sheer physical dominance and efficiency. In a full-on frontal assault, the Space Marines could easily be overwhelmed by the sheer number and power of the alien force. The shock troopers' overwhelming power, on the other hand, the shock troopers are a force designed for brute force, speed, and destruction. Their enhanced physical abilities make them much stronger, faster, and more resilient than humans, allowing them to withstand physical trauma that would cripple a regular soldier. Their coordinated attacks, guided by a hive-like mentality, could allow them to swarm and overrun Earth's forces with terrifying precision. Even the Space Marines' advanced technology may struggle to keep up with their overwhelming force if they are caught off guard or outnumbered. When shock troopers engage in battle, their goal is not subtlety or finesse, it's pure annihilation. They would charge into battle with the sole objective of crushing their enemy under the weight of their sheer power and numbers. For Earth's Marines, it's not just a question of fighting one shock trooper, but dealing with waves of them. The Marines would have to rely on their tactics, weapons, and defensive strategies to minimize the shock troopers' advantages and counteract their overwhelming power. But even the most advanced human technology may be stretched thin against an enemy force that is relentless, physically superior, and able to adapt with terrifying speed. The battlefield dynamics. Guerrilla warfare versus blitzkrieg. Key factor in the outcome of this battle is how the two sides approach combat. The Space Marines would likely employ guerrilla warfare tactics, staying hidden, using the terrain, and striking when the enemy least expects it. Their advanced technology would allow them to launch devastating surprise attacks with pinpoint precision, targeting weak spots in the alien force. With the right strategy, they could disrupt the aliens' formations and pick off shock troopers one by one, taking advantage of their agility and the flexibility their technology provides. In contrast, the shock troopers would likely approach the battle like a blitzkrieg, overwhelming the Space Marines with sheer speed and force. These shock troops would charge into battle with the goal of crushing anything in their path, using their sheer strength and advanced weapons to obliterate anything that stands in their way. The key to their success would be catching the Marines off guard or overwhelming them with numbers. The more the battle drags on, the more difficult it becomes for the Space Marines to maintain their edge, as they would be at a significant disadvantage in a prolonged, all-out conflict. The final showdown: strategy versus strength. So who would win in this epic battle? The answer depends largely on the circumstances. If the conflict is fought on Earth or an environment where the Marines can exploit their knowledge of the terrain and utilize guerrilla tactics, they may have a strong chance of victory. Their technology, experience, and adaptability would allow them to gain the upper hand, especially if the shock troopers are spread thin or caught off guard. However, if the battle takes place on alien ground or under conditions that favor the shock troopers' superior physical abilities, Earth's Marines could find themselves outmatched. In an open field, the shock troopers' overwhelming power and coordination would make it difficult for the Marines to hold their own. The physical superiority and advanced weaponry of the aliens could quickly decimate the human forces if the Marines are unable to adapt quickly enough. The edge of humanity's spirit. One factor that cannot be overlooked, however, is the human spirit. Space Marines aren't just trained to fight, they're trained to persevere. They understand what's at stake, and they are prepared to fight to the last man if necessary. The sheer determination and willpower of humanity could be the wild card that tips the scales in the Marines' favor. It's this kind of indomitable spirit that often allows humans to overcome seemingly insurmountable odds, while shock troopers may have the advantage in strength and power. They could be blindsided by the human will to fight and win against all odds. Who really wins? In the end, this hypothetical battle between Earth's Space Marines and alien shock troopers is a close call. The Space Marines possess advanced technology, strategic minds, and an unshakable will to survive, giving them an edge in adaptability and tactical thinking. On the other hand, the shock troopers bring superior strength, devastating weaponry, and the sheer power of an alien species bred for combat. Ultimately, the winner of this galactic showdown would depend on the specifics of the battlefield, the environment, and how each side adapts to the other's tactics. While the alien shock troopers would undoubtedly be a formidable force, Earth's Space Marines have the potential to turn the tide in their favor with their advanced technology, cunning, and unwavering resolve. Space Marines' strategic advantages, technology, and training. If the battle truly comes down to raw strategy, Earth's Space Marines have more than just their physical capabilities to rely on. They have the most advanced technology and training that humanity has ever devised. A Space Marine's power lies not just in their weapons or armor, but in their ability to think and react in the most extreme combat environments. Unlike alien shock troopers who are likely bred for one purpose, brutal force, The Space Marines are versatile, adaptable, and precise. Their training emphasizes intelligence and strategic thinking, something that would give them a significant advantage if the battle drags on. Let's look at their exoskeletal armor first. It's designed to augment the wearer's physical abilities, enhancing strength, speed, and endurance. This armor is crafted from advanced materials, likely far beyond anything the aliens could have anticipated. It can withstand extreme temperatures, radiation, and even energy blasts. But more importantly, it has built-in shielding capabilities. When under attack, it can deploy force fields that deflect incoming fire, effectively neutralizing a large portion of the alien shock troopers' weapons. Couple this with the plasma rifles and grenade launchers at their disposal, weaponry capable of both ranged and close-quarters effectiveness, and it's easy to see why Space Marines could fight off waves of enemies. The Space Marines don't just use brute force. They operate with military precision. They're trained to work as a unit, utilizing squad-based tactics and communication to overwhelm their enemies. While shock troopers might have an advantage in physical strength, they don't always have the coordination that Space Marines do. It's unlikely that even an alien species bred for war would be able to match the sheer efficiency of human teamwork. The Marines' discipline, especially in coordinated strikes and ambushes, could outmaneuver the shock troopers' raw power, exploiting weaknesses in their formations and disrupting their battle plans. When combined with their adaptability, Earth's forces could, in the right conditions, turn the tide of battle by outthinking their alien adversaries. However, no battle is ever won by technology or tactics alone. The true power of the Space Marines lies in their mental fortitude. These soldiers are prepared for the unthinkable: combat in the vacuum of space, battles in alien environments, and facing an enemy that could wipe out an entire city with ease. That strength of will, the ability to keep fighting even when everything seems hopeless, might give them the edge in a prolonged conflict. Alien shock troopers' physical superiority and overwhelming force on the other side of the battlefield. The alien shock troopers' main advantage lies in their sheer physical capabilities. These warriors are bred for combat, with enhancements designed to make them faster, stronger, and tougher than any human. Their physiology likely includes enhanced muscle density, faster reflexes, and perhaps even superior senses, such as heightened vision or hearing, which would give them the ability to track down and neutralize threats quickly. In close combat, a single shock trooper could easily overpower a Space Marine, breaking through their defenses with raw strength alone. One of the most dangerous aspects of these shock troopers is their biological resilience. Where a human soldier might be incapacitated or killed by a severe wound, an alien shock trooper may recover or continue fighting. Their endurance and ability to shrug off damage could be one of their greatest strengths in a drawn-out battle. This is especially true if their bodies are designed to operate in the harshest conditions. Where Earth's soldiers might struggle to function in hostile atmospheres or terrains, the shock troopers may thrive. If they have enhanced healing factors or can adapt to various environmental conditions, it would be a nightmare for Space Marines trying to wear them down. But what about their weapons? If the shock troopers' technology is on par with or superior to Earth's, then the Marines might have an even harder time. Energy-based weaponry, for example, could be designed to cut through armor with ease, leaving the Space Marines' defenses useless against such attacks. On top of this, the shock troopers' weapons might not just be effective against humans, they could be designed specifically to neutralize the Marines' advanced armor. In a one-on-one fight, this technological advantage might tip the scales in favor of the shock troopers. The key to their power, however, is not just the weapons they wield, but their tactics. As previously mentioned, alien shock troopers are likely engineered with a hive-like mentality, allowing them to operate in perfect coordination, like a well-oiled machine. This means they won't just charge in blindly. They'll communicate and adjust their tactics mid-battle, adapting to the evolving situation. Their sheer numbers and ability to adapt quickly could overwhelm human forces, especially in environments where the Space Marines' tactical flexibility is limited. Even if the Marines manage to kill a few shock troopers, there could be an endless supply of reinforcements waiting to take their place. The physical superiority of these shock troopers, combined with their coordination and overwhelming numbers, would make them a formidable opponent for the Space Marines. If they can close the gap and engage in hand-to-hand combat, their raw strength might give them the edge. Even in the face of advanced technology and strategy, the alien shock troopers' relentlessness might prove to be their most deadly weapon. The crucial factor: environment and adaptability. Ultimately, the battle between Earth's space marines and the alien shock troopers boils down to one crucial factor: the environment. While the space marines excel in adaptability and strategy, their effectiveness depends on their ability to manipulate their surroundings to gain the upper hand. If the battle takes place in a confined or controlled environment, where the Marines can use guerrilla tactics to their advantage, they could hold their own against the shock troopers. However, if the battle unfolds on alien terrain, an environment where the shock troopers are naturally suited to the conditions, the Space Marines may struggle. Alien forces might have the advantage in such environments, exploiting natural features and terrain to their benefit. With their enhanced biological capabilities, the shock troopers could easily gain the upper hand if the battle shifts to a planet or setting that favors their biology and tactics. In a space-based battle, or one involving multiple planets, Earth's Marines could have an advantage due to their experience in zero-gravity warfare, adaptability to diverse atmospheres, and advanced spacecraft. They are the experts in extraterrestrial environments, making them dangerous opponents when the battlefield is in space. But, in an all-out battle on an alien planet, the shock troopers' native advantages might prove too powerful for the Marines to overcome. A fight to the last. As we've explored, this battle is far from one-sided. The outcome hinges on numerous factors, from the terrain to the strategies employed. The Space Marines bring a combination of technology, training, and tactical brilliance to the table, while the shock troopers boast unparalleled physical strength and overwhelming firepower. The battle would be long, brutal, and unpredictable, with both sides pushing themselves to the limit. In the end, the winner may not be determined by one single factor, but rather by the ability to adapt, outthink, and outlast the other. The Space Marines may have the edge in strategy, while the shock troopers have raw power on their side. It's the ultimate clash of intellect and brawn, and in the heat of battle, anything could happen. So, who would you bet on in this intergalactic clash? The tactical geniuses or the unrelenting shock troopers? The stage is set. Who will emerge victorious? The final stand, the ultimate decider in the war. As the dust settles, both sides have endured heavy losses. Earth's Space Marines have fought with precision, intelligence, and unyielding resilience, while the alien shock troopers have demonstrated overwhelming force, biological superiority, and relentless aggression. The battlefield is littered with fallen warriors, wrecked war machines, and the scorched remnants of devastating energy blasts. But the war is far from over. The true winner will be determined by one final, crucial factor: endurance. Both forces are at their limits. The Space Marines have executed countless tactical maneuvers, exploiting every advantage they could find: terrain, superior teamwork, and their cutting-edge technology. Their adaptability has allowed them to survive battles that should have been unwinnable. However, even the best-trained soldiers reach a breaking point. Their advanced armor may hold strong, but their biological limitations remain. Fatigue, hunger, and mental strain are all factors that could push them past their limits. They are still human, after all. Meanwhile, the alien shock troopers have taken immense damage, yet they keep coming. Their endurance is terrifying, whether due to regenerative abilities, a hive mind system that keeps pushing them forward, or sheer genetic design. They don't falter the way humans do. They don't hesitate. They don't second-guess. Every fallen shock trooper is replaced by another, seemingly unfazed by the carnage around them. If the battle extends beyond the Space Marines' ability to recover, the alien forces could eventually overwhelm them, no matter how many tactical victories humanity claims. This battle highlights one of the most fundamental truths of warfare: strategy versus raw power, intelligence versus instinct, calculated precision versus relentless ferocity. If the war is fought on a strategic level, with Earth's forces able to retreat, regroup, and launch coordinated strikes, they stand a strong chance of winning. But if the shock troopers can force the battle into a prolonged war of attrition, the tide may shift in their favor. A future decided by the next move. In the end, there may not be a definitive winner, only survivors. If the Space Marines can outmaneuver the shock troopers, strike their command structures, or use their superior tactics to cripple their numbers, Earth's forces may claim victory. But if the aliens' numbers are endless, if their resilience, allows them to withstand anything humanity throws at them, then it may be humanity's last stand. Perhaps the war wouldn't end in annihilation, but in something unexpected, a ceasefire, an uneasy truce, or even an understanding between species. Maybe intelligence, whether human or alien, would eventually realize that cooperation is more beneficial than destruction. Or maybe the battlefield will be drenched in the blood of both sides, with neither emerging victorious. The question remains, in a war between Earth's finest warriors and an unstoppable alien force, who truly wins? The answer isn't just about strength or strategy. It's about survival. It's about endurance. And in the cold depths of space, where no one is guaranteed to make it out alive, the real victor is the one who's still standing when the last shot is fired. So, what do you think? If this war ever became a reality, who would have the final victory? Human ingenuity or alien ferocity? Let us know in the comments.